In this video, we'll look at the final two resources, pages and URLs. Starting with pages, we simply click the drop-down next to Add a Resource and select Page. We'll give it a name and a description. And then we have a content area. Now at this point, we could simply paste any text or write out any message that we want, and it'll essentially show up as a static web page. I've gone ahead and pre-copied some text to paste into this window, and I'll show you a couple of different ways to do it. One, we could simply use Control-V and paste the information straight into the document. You can see this is just the welcome message that you received through Sign Me Up, and I'll show you what it looks like if we leave it as is. If we go ahead and just click Save, you can see that it looks pretty good. It's kept some of the formatting. It did keep the links. And in fact, it even automatically embedded the YouTube video just based upon the link, which is pretty good. Now, sometimes you might be copying and pasting from a document that's more complex than this. And I'll show you another way to do this. I'm going to go ahead and just delete what I previously put in, and this time I'm going to use the Paste from Word command. You'll notice that there is a small clipboard next to the text color selection, and if you hover over it, you'll see that it says Paste from Word. If I select this, a new box comes up, and again you see it prompts me to use Control-V on the keyboard to paste the text. So this time I'll paste the text in and choose Insert. And on this particular activity, not much has changed, but on some activities where there's heavy formatting from Microsoft Word, you may notice a substantial difference in the way that it portrays the text. The formatting is only slightly different. It's slightly more similar to what we see in the Word document with less of an indentation. But again, your results will vary based upon how much formatting you used in the Word document itself. But that's basically it, and that's all there is to creating a sample page. Now you might ask, what's the advantage of creating a sample page versus simply uploading this as a document? The advantage to creating it as a page versus a document, as explained earlier, is that, for one, your students or participants do not have to download anything. They simply click the link and they see all the information static on the page. In addition to that, it also saves a lot on bandwidth. Because there's no download, that means that your site will not be slowed down if you have 100+ students all trying to access a resource at the same time. This is just static text on a page, which takes very little space, versus a Word document or PDF, which can run up into several megabytes. Next, we'll go ahead and look at creating a URL. URLs are very simple to create. So here's the sample page that we created. You'll see that there are some other sample information up here. In this one, you can see the difference between Paste from Word command versus a standard paste under the Moodle agenda. So you can see this is just creating a page, and this one will be using the Paste from Word command. That'll give a much better example of how that formatting can be drastically changed by using that. And again, we'll go ahead and look at the final item under Resources, which is creating a URL. And this is just simply if you'd like to link to an external site. So if you wanted to put a link to an article that's in an online periodical, or if you want to link to a website that you want your students to work on, you can do so here. In this case, I've already gone ahead and, well, actually, let's go ahead and just use moodle.ocps.net as our external URL. I'll simply paste this into the content section. And you'll notice that under options, there are a few options here. We can either embed, which oftentimes does not work. Usually I just leave it on automatic, which means that when they click on the item, it'll bring them directly to Moodle. There is one other option that you might want to consider, and that's open in pop-up. The idea behind opening in a pop-up is that if you want your students to remain on Moodle, you just need them to view another resource. By choosing in pop-up, it'll essentially open this URL in a separate tab or a separate window. In other words, they'll still be on your site and can come back to it in the event that they need to finish other materials. For right now, we'll just leave it as automatic. We'll save and return to course. And you can see here's our sample URL. So now if I click this, it'll simply redirect us to Moodle. And that's all there is to creating a URL or a link.